The countdown is on, but you're not alone. This is Countdown to College, your weekly guide from Education Quest Foundation, here to help you plan, apply, and pay for college one step at a time. I'm your host, Gage, and this episode is all about scholarships and how they can make college more affordable. Today, we're joined by two college students, Avery and Leslie, who will share their firsthand experiences with applying for scholarships, managing deadlines, and the impact that scholarships has had on their college experience. So before we jump in, let's just take a sec to get to know our guests a little bit more. So Avery, can you please just introduce yourself and tell us your name, the college you attended or attend, and your major and your hometown?
Yes, my name's Avery Roth. I'm a student here at UNK, and I am from Milford, Nebraska, and I'm studying nursing.
Leslie, same for you. Just introduce yourself, tell us your name, the college you attend, your major, and your hometown.
Yeah, so my name is Leslie Sanchez. I attend UNO. I'm studying business administration, emphasizing in entrepreneurship and management, and I am from West Point, Nebraska.
Well, thank you both again for agreeing to help us out with this episode. Let's just go ahead and dive in. Avery, when did you start looking for scholarships and what motivated you to do so?
I kind of started looking my junior year just because I wanted to see what scholarships were out there so I could start tracking and looking at deadlines and stuff. I kind of got motivated because I come from a big family. And so even though my parents were willing to help me out, I wanted to be able to pay for as much of college myself as possible. And with the nursing school, the second 2 years are going to be really expensive in medical school. So just trying to get these first 2 years paid for. Yeah.
Yeah. No, junior year is a really good time too, because you don't realize it, but once you get to senior year, things fly by so fast. And those scholarship deadlines are going to be there before you even know it. So, Leslie, when you were looking for scholarships, what resources did you find most helpful? Where did you look?
Yeah, thankfully, I had a great student counselor, and she would put out a list out for us, and she would update it every month, and it would have requirements and deadlines. So that was super helpful. But I also looked at UNO's website for my major specific scholarships, which that was really helpful as well.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't really realize it when I was in high school, but your high school counselor has so many great scholarship resources. It's kind of insane. Avery, let's turn to you now. What types of scholarships did you apply for? I know there's a big question sometimes of, oh, should I apply for large scholarships? Should I do small or local, college-based, national? What kind of worked for you?
Well, I didn't apply for a bunch of big national ones just because I knew realistically there isn't a super large chance of me getting them. And I was planning on coming to UNK, which is a pretty affordable school. So I tried to focus a lot on the college-based ones and the local ones, which I had a better chance of getting. And so just focusing on those, I felt helped me to give a strong scholarship essay for those and fill out all of those, which added up to probably more than some of the big local ones or the big national ones. Yeah.
Yeah, we always like to tell students here that even if the award looks small, if you get 4 or 5 of those that adds up really fast, very fast. And Avery, just a follow-up question for that too, just because I'm curious. When you're kind of, applying for all these scholarships, local, some of the bigger ones, how did you keep track of those applications and those deadlines?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit of a control freak. And so I had a Google spreadsheet from my junior year where I would put all of them there, put the deadlines, what I needed to have, if I needed any letters of recommendation, transcripts, anything, have those in there, whether I had completed them or not, whether I had heard back or not. So just having one place, I used a Google sheet, but I'm sure other people have different methods, but that was what worked for me and helped me stay on track of all of those.
Leslie, how did you track your scholarship applications?
Yeah, so I'm a big visual person. So like Avery, I had a Google Doc with a list of all my scholarships. I had links to the forms I had to fill out. And then I would put in green, like hand it in, or pending in red. And then I would highlight them green or red whether I got them. So I really like to have a record of all of them, even if I didn't get them, just for future reference, because I do have younger sisters. So that'll be really helpful for them as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm glad we have some planners in this podcast because I'm a big color code person too, so this is great. Avery, what percentage, it doesn't have to be, an exact percent, you can guesstimate, what percentage of the scholarships that you applied for did you end up receiving?
I probably got like 75% or more. It was a lot of just like the few big scholarships that I did apply for, I didn't get. But I also did get a couple random ones that I don't know if I applied for, like just through my college. It might be through like the general scholarships, but
Mm-hmm.
I got a decent amount of them, which I was really grateful for.
Leslie, what about you?
Yeah, so I ended up getting about 50% of the ones I applied for, but I did go a very large scale with them. So I did apply for those really big national and statewide ones. So
Yeah, I mean, still though, 50 and 75 is pretty good. And that I always tell students too that like sometimes if you like apply for like one or two and you don't get them, it can feel a little discouraging. But I always tell them like keep applying, keep applying, keep applying because they will add up. And the more you apply, it's that cheesy quote of like you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's cheesy, but it's true.
Mhm.
Now, Leslie, if you are willing to share a little bit more detail, how much did you earn in scholarships total, and how much of your college costs did that cover?
yeah, so yearly I got about $19,500 total. And then for all 4 years, about 78,000 to 80,000. So I currently pay for none of my schooling, other than probably like the parking tickets or just small expenses like that, groceries. So
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Even if you think you have a lot of scholarships, just wait till the parking tickets show
oh
up
yeah.
on your car window.
Mhm.
Avery, same question for you. How much did you earn in scholarships total, and how much of your college costs did that cover?
I earned $21,000, which covers all of my college. But like she said, it's those hidden fees that'll get you, like parking passes, like all the different things. But I do get, I think, a tiny bit of a refund for these next 2 years. I don't know if that'll continue on when I go to medical school because I'm technically not in the same school, so it'll be more expensive. But I'm hopeful that if I apply for some more scholarships at the program that I'm going into, that I'll get some more off.
Yeah, that is actually something I did want to bring up. At least in my college experience, I know that I wasn't really aware that you could keep applying for scholarships while you're in
Mhm.
college and like there's more scholarship opportunities. Is that something that Leslie, you maybe have experienced or had any experience with?
Yeah, so I'm currently looking at scholarships to apply for. There's so many small ones and like medium-sized ones for the second semester of the year, but I also work currently for a scholarship foundation, so I get a lot of really good connections through that.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Avery?
Yeah, I'm also just like filling out the UNK just has like a current student scholarship application that you fill out, and then just looking at some more nursing specific ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, now I want to dive into like the actual process of applying to scholarships a little bit more because that can kind of be overwhelming for, first time juniors or even seniors. Leslie, we'll start with you. What essay topics or prompts showed up most often? Because I know a lot of scholarships ask for essays. And which ones were maybe like the hardest or the most meaningful to you?
Yeah, so I would definitely say the one I saw the most was why should we give you this scholarship? Which is also one of the hardest ones to answer. It's just hard to kind of say that you deserve it over someone else. But that was probably the hardest one. And the most meaningful one would probably be what does this scholarship mean to you? I feel like that's a really important section to pour your heart out in, and for the people that are reading it to really see a insight into your life.
Yeah. Avery, what about you?
Mine was kind of the same, like with that, why should we give you this scholarship? Like, I feel like we're kind of taught to not like hype ourselves up over other people. And so having to like write that all out is kind of stressful. And you're like, am I like over exaggerating about myself? And so just making sure that's good was really hard. But I also got a lot of like, why do you want to go into the healthcare profession? And so, like, just different things about like what your goals are for your career, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, just like why I want to go into healthcare.
Yeah, especially if you're, more of a humble person. This is like your one chance to brag about yourself finally. Now, another important part of many scholarship applications are letters of recommendation. Leslie, how important were those to your scholarship applications, and what did you do to get strong ones?
Yeah, they're very, very important. People that are giving you scholarships want to make sure that they're investing in someone that is kind of contagiously good to everyone, not just, take their word for who they are. So that's very important. I definitely saw out teachers that were kind of a mentor to me in high school because those are usually the people that see your most valuable attributes and can write about them. I also saw a lot of recommendation letters from higher ups like principals and superintendents that had access to see my overall academic and like extracurricular achievements. So I feel like those are really important for sure.
Yeah, Avery, what was your perspective like on that?
Well, I didn't have that many scholarships that I needed letters of recommendation, so I wasn't like they weren't my number one priority, but I
Mm.
do think it's a really good way to show that you are in like good standing with like especially the teachers. Like for me, I asked a lot of like science teachers or math teachers to like show that you have an interest in that profession, and then also just like making sure what I did was I also sent over a resume so that on top of the things that they had seen from me, they could like access some things that I had done in the past or different things that I was proud of.
Yeah, that's great practice too for once you start getting into like the career world and stuff and you need job references. Send people your resumes, send them the job description. Same with like if you need like a scholarship application, make sure you send them the applications so they know what they're asking for. That's all great advice. Okay, I have one final question for both of you. And it's basically just, what final advice do you have for current high school juniors and seniors? And on the second part of that question, what, if anything, would you do differently? Do you have any regrets? Would you do anything differently? Let's start with you, Avery.
Okay. My advice would be to just start looking at scholarships early. I feel like it was really helpful to start looking my junior year just because you do kind of get a view for what's all out there. And I felt like that put me a little bit ahead of my peers. And then also just like not discrediting the smaller scholarships. Like when I first started, I was like looking at all these big ones that are like $50,000. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna, which I may have gotten some of them if I would have applied, but I now realize I really appreciated those smaller, more local scholarships more, and they can really add up and help you out. Like I said, I'm not having to pay for college now, so that's
Mhm.
really nice. So just apply for everything that you can. And so that's also my like, what would I do different? Is just look at those smaller ones first.
Leslie, what about you?
Yeah, so I would say I don't think I would have a big regret. I think I was very disciplined about looking for scholarships, but a big advice I would say is to look for scholarships that are specific to your major and what you're interested in. That just heightens the chances right away of you getting it, especially if you have a passion for it. It also creates a community within that passion. So it's really important that you seek out those. But also, like Avery said, the small scholarships, they come in handy when you least expect it, like when you have a whole bunch of parking tickets racked up and you need like some extra money to pay those off. Those like small $500 scholarships really come in handy. So
Yeah, that's great. And I do like your point about, seeking out scholarships that align with your interests. There's like so many niche scholarships. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to like start like a lawn care business or something. There are some lawn care businesses out there. They're like, we'll give you a scholarship for that to go to college and get like an agricultural degree. Like, definitely keep searching. Small ones add up. Everything else said. Okay. Well, I think that wraps us up. Thank you again both for joining us and for sharing your experiences. To our audience, if you ever need help with anything college related, you can contact an Education Quest office near you for free help. You can find our contact information or schedule an appointment on educationquest.org. While you are there, sign up for the weekly Countdown to College email that is filled with a bunch of college tips and tricks. And finally, just help us get this message out to as many students and families as possible by subscribing to this podcast on your favorite platform and hitting the like button on this episode. Thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you next week.